Joking Podcast. It's your boy Reed, man. Hey, man, as you hear it playing in the back, it's water under the bridge. So it's Mental Health Awareness Month for men. So we're going to be discussing that, and that's the most important part. Like we are as men, like we all go through a lot. So but we want to like definitely shine a light on that. So we got some dope guests on there that are going to be talking about it. We got Anthony, we got Jlay. So we're going to be like, as we go through this and navigate through this whole crazy world and shit. I got a lot of jokes about because this is smoking the joking part. So as being a social worker for unhoused veterans, I once met a veteran. And we're not going to say the name of the organization I worked he was a good veteran, man. Good guy, Marine guy. This is a funny story, so it's not so much geared towards mental health. When I met him, I was talking to him like, "Hey, man, you a Marine, older veteran?" Like, "Yeah, I'm a Marine." Boom. So got closer to the veteran. One day we were talking about Desert Storm, that was a war way before me. So I was like, I have two babies. So he was telling this story. He said, he was like, "Yo, I love Desert Storm veterans." He's like, "No," he's like, "I love pilots from the Desert Storm." I was like, "Oh, that's cool, bro. That's cool." He's like, "Man, yo, I love them a lot, man. If I see one, I'll get him a drink of liquor." I'm like, "Hey, man, yeah, that's cool." He's like, "Hey, man, I'll give a hug to him." Hey, bro, A1, man. Shut up. This man said, "Hey, man, hey, if I see him, I probably suck his." I said, "What?" Me and the other veteran looked at each other. We went crazy. That was the most wildest story I ever heard in my life. He said, I'm like, bro, like, hey, me and the other veteran looked at each other like, hey, nah, we got to get away from that. But I want to say shout out to D-Day. We're gonna and a special memorial for Mama Sims. So if you know Staff Sergeant Walker that was with 2-4, his mom passed away. I had the opportunity, I swear to you, I met her, like, good woman, and God rest her soul. So we're going to give her a few minutes right now. Rest in peace, Mama Walker. Definitely rest in peace. So I feel like that. You know what? When you talk about Gold Star family moms, man, my heart goes out to you guys because I know y'all went through this. Like, you can't lose that hurt. That hurt will never go away. Losing a son or a daughter in this war. So we definitely a big shout out. And I get it too. And then for all the brothers that right now are still trying to go through the healing process, shout out to the memorial of people that was there on D-Day that actually stole them beats of Normandy. Shout out to you guys too, man. We love you. You guys paved the way, man. Like for real. So anything that dealing with that day, man, we love all of you guys. And we're gonna keep, as this show going, man, we're gonna keep talking about mental health. Like men's mental health is important, whether you realize it or not. And coming from like having conversation with men that been in the war and seeing everything, like transitioning to the civilian life is big for us right now. So, just keep staying strong. I know everything is a month. You got Juneteenth, you got Pride, you got all these other months, and not to discard those months too, because we love everybody. But mental health is definitely important. Like it's definitely important right now. Like I said, if you're struggling and stuff, like reach out to your brothers, reach out to the VA. You got shout out to QF up. Shout out to everybody that comes on this podcast has something to say about that. So, and I get it. I get these phone calls every day, or maybe like on the weekends or whatever. Whatever you're going through, man, just keep staying strong, man. We are men, yes. We start to be tough. We start to cry. We can't cry. We can't do all this other stuff. But we men at the end of the day. When you're a man, you stand on, you gotta, society made us stand on business. But there's nothing wrong with seeking help. I was telling my son that just the other day that plays college football, or my middle son and my baby son. I try to mental health is important. If you don't have mental health, no matter what, it's important. And find your outlook on life too. Like I say, I watch a lot of movies. I stay in movies. If the gym is your thing, if life is your thing, hey, find something that you love. That's all we want for you guys, man. Find something you love. Hell, if it's women and shit, I got a boy that go to goddamn shit. he loves going to Tijuana all day long. If it was a Tijuana with him right now, he'll be with Tijuana right now. And he
Got some
loves that.
stories
And he
about that.
freaks this, yep. And he freaks a Chinese restaurant that he loves so much. I think it's called Hong Kong or something. I mean, hey, if you single, hey, visit that restaurant. I heard they got good food there. And so like whatever you do that's gonna make you happy and relieve stress, man. You always got to hit that. And those that are living in those places that don't have good Chinese food, hey, you can find it. Hey, that's what it is. We just want you guys to be safe, man. You know how Marines is. We degenerate motherfuckers by nature. So that's who we are. And we got to live up to it. A lot of us, and those who married, hey, they're not going to partake in none of the Chinese food over there. But hey, maybe y'all should just go there to that country and just have a little bit of fun. That's what it is. Like, so, just get out and see the world, man. The world is bigger than what you think it is. And you can't be shielded by like a lot of stuff. Like, we all gonna go through this shit, man. It's an up and down with mental health. One day you happy, and the next day you down. But keep going, man. Those who got kids and those who don't even have kids, stepfathers, fathers, whatever. We got Father's Day coming up, so it's gonna be the same thing. You have to keep going. Do not give up. Who the fuck gives up? You know? And I'm talking to my Marine Corps brothers, Army, all these people, like whatever you going through. But so like I say, man, we got a great show for you on the Smoking and Joking podcast. We're just waiting to get into it, man. Like I'm telling you, we got a dope guest, man. And before I bring this guest up, man, shout out to Anthony, man. Yo, this is a
Appreciate it a
3-5
lot.
Marine. This is my brother. Like, this is real. This is gonna be real spit. We're gonna about to get into all of this. All this nuances of everything. Like being a veteran. So I mean, you guys stay tuned, man. And this is sponsored by our tears. We got so make sure you link and subscribe. This is what we here for, you know? So as we get ready, man, I'm telling you, your mental health is important. Let's go. To my boy Anthony, man. Hey,
What's
what's
up?
good, brother?
How you doing, D?
What's good? I ain't gonna give
So
you a big intro. I just want you to talk and tell. We had a great conversation off of camera. So we
yeah,
about to
so
get right into it. I gotta pull up my sleeves because I'm ready, man. And this is
yeah,
a devil dog, by the way, from 3-5. Shout out to 3524, same thing. Let's go.
yeah, yeah, the riot back in the day, right? So um I got to piggyback directly off of men's mental health, and what I'm
Yeah.
going to say is not going to be the most popular thing, but the construct of this country was based off of a patriarchal society first and foremost. The
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure off of, I'm going to say it, slave labor, from agriculture all the way down to the railroads. And the thing is like it's been. I mean, we look back thousands of years. Men have had this onus on them to where, hey, you can't do certain things in public, you can't cry, you
Mm-hmm.
can't do this. But I was just saying this earlier to D. It was like, do you really want a man to be so hard? Do you
Mm-hmm.
want somebody like to be so hard to where they're so focused on being hard and stern and this security and provider to where their
Mm-hmm.
mental health really takes a back seat? And I'm gonna be honest with you, whenever I did that and I was in the military, it didn't serve me any justice. I didn't start paying attention to my mental health really until it was really, really late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And by then, some people can say, they can say whatever they want to about me. But, by then I had already thought about suicide. I had taken a gun and put it to my head, drunk, of course, because what do we do in the Marine Corps? We drink. Like,
Drink.
that's what we
Yep.
did, right?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, so I had to take and change a lot of my thought process, and completely just look at it and say, all right, is this what I want with my life? And my mental health deteriorated while I was in the Marine Corps. It was my fault, of course, because I didn't take the proper steps to go get
Mhm.
counseling, how to handle emotional aspects in mental health. And then later on, of course, all that deteriorated utilizing substance abuse, having substance abuse issues too. But as men in this country, we have a suicide rate of 3.98 to 1.
Mm.
Now, that's a big, big number. That's almost four
Man.
to one. So it's not just the military and it's not just that lifestyle. It's for men overall that are feeling
Hmm.
this, because what are we supposed to be? Providers, protectors. If we can't
Exactly.
provide and protect
Yep.
for our family, the people we love, um, and then society views us as being deem us as like worthless or something of the sort. Dax has this one song, I forgot the name of it, to be a man, to be a man.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dax talks about this, and the thing is, it's just like, dang, that's real.
Yep.
Dax he dropped another one recently too, talking about men and like mental health. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of this
Yep.
stuff is 100% accurate. And
Yep.
it doesn't mean, and it doesn't mean that, that men hold men to a standard, right?
Hmm.
So we're the ones that really create a lot of this stigma. But whenever we come home to our woman, okay,
Yep.
we
Yep.
need a place, we need a safe space too, right? Try to be with a man, like any woman, try to be with a man who's hard all the time. I
Yep.
guarantee you it's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be
Yep.
nice. It's not going to be a kind environment.
Yep.
So we just have to look at some of these aspects. And I always, whenever I talk to people, I just had one of my brothers, he called me up a couple weekends ago. He was battling some demons. So I told him, I was like,
Yep.
bro, you got to go to the VA. You
I
know what I'm
had that
saying?
call. I had that same call last week. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, yep.
This is a big issue. Now the thing is like I was proud. I was awake first of all to answer the phone, and then second, like I was proud that he called me instead
Mm.
of going through with the thing that
The
could have,
inevitable. Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's here today, so
Yep.
and he's gonna win. He's gonna beat that
Yep.
demon.
Yep.
Um, but I want people to really understand, men. I want men to understand there's nothing wrong with counseling. There's nothing wrong with talking
Nothing.
to your female about your hardships and doing a decompression every single night. Just like a debrief after we get done with patrols, because all of us here are Marines. So
Yep.
whenever we come
Hoorah.
off
Kill buddy.
patrols, yeah, bro,
Yep.
like what do we do? We talk about the intel of the day. What did
Yep.
we see?
Yep.
What was going
Yep.
on? Was our thought process through our head?
Yep.
It's okay to do that. A lot of times, you hear like I love Kevin Samuels. Don't get me wrong, KS is great, but sometimes,
Hey, I'm
but
a
K,
fan. That's
yeah,
like,
but
shout out to
KS
Kids and Dream.
KS did have some things wrong, and I do think
Yeah.
that if you can't
Yep.
if you can't open up to your woman about some things that you got going on,
Who
that
you?
yeah, that's your family, right? That's your
Yeah. Yeah.
family.
Yep.
You kind
Yep.
of you kind of need
Yep.
you kind of need that in your life. Um, and I don't want to, I don't want any projection on that at all, as far as like, you know,
But so Anthony, can I ask you this? Like, what would you tell your younger self that your older self knows now? Like, would you tell your younger self? I'm pretty sure that I kind of know a little bit of the answer, but what would you tell?
in which regard, because I,
I
I
I
I could
know.
have like a
Yeah,
10-hour conversation with that dude
yeah,
about what.
but like even like being okay when you first joined the Marine Corps, or first when you became an adult in your eyes, what would you tell yourself now?
Um, Take care of your emotional, psychological, um, and physical health over
Mm,
everything else. Because if you take care of your physical body, your brain is going to operate better. This is science. So anybody
mm,
know, like I'm a big believer in science. I'm going to
mm,
school for biochemistry, so on and so forth. uh, Take care of your body because your brain is going to work better.
mm,
Emotionally, it's okay to go if you are religious. Go see a priest. Go see one of your leaders in your church or whatever it is your belief system is. seek counsel from individuals that literally do it for a living. And that way that you can compartmentalize and understand certain things that are happening within your body, why you think certain ways by the conditions and the programming in which you grow up. A lot of this stuff I didn't take into account, until
Mm,
I was like 35, 34, 35 years old. Of the reason why I thought certain ways was because I was programmed
yep.
in a certain area in my tribe. It's really a tribal.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
It's a tribe that you grow up in, which is your family, and that's what conditions you to believe certain things, right?
Yep.
So I would tell myself to take care of my emotional, physical, mental, psychological health, and then I would probably tell myself also, you know, education is imperative.
I
And I'm not
agree.
talking about just collegiate education.
Yep. Yep.
I'm talking about just education overall.
Yep.
Always learn something every day. Always try to mentor and help other people too. And kindness really does matter in this regard.
I
You ain't
agree.
got to be like super duper sweet. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
that you ain't got to be
you ain't got to
sweet.
be the female Mary Poppins and shit, like
Yeah,
popping out and being like, "Oh shit, everything is
yeah.
beautiful in this day." Yeah,
But if a man needs to, is trying to, uh, if a man is trying to confide in you about something that he has issues
yeah,
with, it's kind of imperative that we listen. As men, I'm a huge believer in men supporting men, and I
yeah.
believe that women support women. The reason why I believe this in The Social Construct by Henry David Thoreau, he literally talks about the social construct and the contracts that we have socially with each other, and men literally make men better. And
Exactly.
I-
Iron
it's
sharpens iron.
you know,
Yeah,
I, and we can go into the Marine Corps on that and the whole
mm,
like the segregation, why women train women and men train men.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like we could
yeah,
talk about
yeah.
that. But I think that's what I would tell my younger self though, is just really take care of your mental health above everything else, because that's really what's going to drive you to be a better person. I'll obviously take care of your morals, ethos,
Yeah.
um, your character
Mm,
overall. Because my dad did teach me one thing that will always stick with me. He said,
mm,
son, your name is your bond, it's your word. If your
exactly.
name goes through the mud, guess what, motherfucker? You just ruined your entire
Hey,
fucking
hey,
reputation.
hey. So can I say one thing? So to Demarcus Reed, to Demarcus Sean Reed, you hearing this not coming from your pops, but hey, that's what it is. Hey, continue, Anthony, man. That was dope.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's true. And that my dad taught me a lot of things too. My dad's my hero. Shout out to him for real.
Mm.
He's senior, Anthony Charpentier senior, but that's my hero. He taught me a lot of life lessons. Another thing he taught me too, which is way off the topic. We're not even talking about what I want to talk about.
Nah,
But but
this
here's
is
the thing.
this
Here's the
mental
thing.
health awareness. So
But
we here.
my dad came from really real poverty. And I was like
Mm.
8 or 9 years old one day, and I was walking outside, and I complained about having to do some type of chore outside, right? And this is in the 80s. And boy, do you not understand how privileged you are? I'm like, I look at him like, what the fuck is privilege? And he's like, boy, you got shoes on your feet. And I'm like, ain't I supposed to have shoes? I didn't realize that some of his family didn't have shoes on their feet when they was growing up.
Mm.
That's how my naivety, like my naivety was just, wasn't, I mean, I was 8 years old, 9 years old at the time. So I didn't know that, you know what I mean? But that always stuck with me, that I was privileged in that regard. And I got to be honest with you, a lot of us take these things for granted, really take them for granted, especially like looking in today's economy. You can't really take these things for granted. You can't
Exactly.
take it for granted because there's people living in their cars in California, people living
Yeah.
on the
Mm.
streets of LA. We're down here in Florida, and I see older people in wheelchairs that you
Mm.
can tell that their skin is just completely ruined because they're out in the sun. It's because they're homeless, you know.
Mm.
And that's the privilege that I grew up in, and I took all that kind of for granted. So
Mm.
yeah, that's
No,
I got off on that soapbox, man.
but no, hey, stand on it because that's what I see right now. Like before the show aired, we was talking about like definitely mental health when it comes to men because a lot of times it's like with men you're not taught to be that way. You taught like even the instruction your father gave you. Sometimes when your father is talking, yeah, it might sound like that when you heard it, but like that's a little bit of that insight is the thing that guides you through life. Like it might sound crazy coming from, we all young. So it's like, yeah, when we was younger, we hear it, but we don't hear it.
Yeah.
So do you feel like with your father words, do you feel like that's been kind of like a little bit of your guiding light to make you be the man that you are today?
Yeah, but my hubris attitude and arrogance
Yeah.
didn't allow me to really uh, didn't allow me to really what is it relegate didn't allow me to hone in on it, to really
Yeah.
embody it until I was already in my 30s. Because
Mm-hmm.
in the martial culture, as we already talked about, in the
Yeah.
martial culture, they're very you're literally taken care of. Three hots and a cot. You go train. Your staff
Hey,
sergeant tells you what to do.
perfect.
You're
Perfect.
fucking. You're literally sheltered in the military.
Yeah.
When you get out
Yeah.
here and you become a civilian, you got to come up with your own schedule. You got to figure out how to make your own money. You got to figure out
Yeah.
how to pay your own bills, take
Yeah.
care of your kids, drop them
Yeah.
off at daycare, do this,
Yeah.
do that. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then you ain't got nobody to rely on. You can't be calling out, hey,
Exactly.
boss. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Nah, bitch, that shit don't work like that. You gone. You
Hell
know what I mean?
no. You in the
That's
real you in the real world, and that's what
that-
I try to tell people. Like once you step into civilian life, all that stuff, like whether you are from a PFC no, from a private all the way to a corporal sergeant, staff sergeant, gunny, first sergeant, sergeant major, like yo, when you step foot in the real world, that's the real world. So
it's the real world. And the thing
yeah.
is you know, here's another thing that I realized too. Whenever I was transitioning from the Marine Corps, because my transition was not a normal transition. I had just lost my career due to I had alcoholism, DUI. I was on med board to retire. I just got fresh out of the brig because I threatened a commissioned officer. So they put me in the
We
brig for
all
60
been there
days.
part. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so I got, like I got the whole boot. But
Yeah.
long story short, um,
Yeah.
my transition into civility, it was
Mm,
not normal. And then I look back at it, that was a hard transition, just for the
mm-hmm.
simple fact that, wow, there's nobody there for you anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not like, Gunny's going to be able to save my ass
Yeah.
on this or any of that kind of stuff. That shit was gone. It was just gone.
Yeah.
So, and then whenever retirees, they're transitioning as well. That's the reason why a lot of retirees, they stay on with these contracts and stuff, because they're
Mm-hmm.
so conditioned to
Yeah.
stay in these types of environments where it's a
Yeah.
steady paycheck. They don't have to worry about being innovative. They don't have to
Yeah.
worry about creativity. They don't have to worry about a lot of these things,
Mm-hmm.
unless they're like independent operators, like snipers, for instance. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's, you had to be innovative and ingenuitive in order to do that. So I see this so often. Like you'll see a master guns retire, and then he'll go work his GW job or whatever it is, some contracting job the next day. It's because he's so conditioned into that lifestyle, and it's just they have a ton of potential, but it's just
Yeah.
not going to happen because of the fact that, hey, they're conditioned. Their mind is conditioned to stay in that
Yeah.
martial culture and to
Yeah.
support the martial culture. So, which
And
isn't
that
necessary. It's not a bad
yeah.
thing. We need somebody
No,
to do
no,
it.
definitely not. Definitely not. I think
But
that's what you see a lot of though. Like you see that so
yeah,
much that you can't turn that off or whatever. And then when you get to civilian life, you see it with veterans all the time because like at the same time you're not that staff sergeant. Yes, you looked upon, but like hey, now you got to lead a 19-year-old or 18-year-old snotty nosed kid that came from buttfuck nowhere. Now you got to lead this kid and be like, okay, this is what you want to do with your life because you know what? I feel like this is the right way to go. And then like you can't do that because society tells us, especially like I go back to definitely mental health awareness, but I go that back to with even the women part. Shout out to all the mothers out there. You can't raise your kids to be that person. He'll never be the guy. He's not like what you think he is, you know. And sometimes, yes, you do need fathers, father figures, or somebody that's in their life to instill that into them, you know, like because this world right now is different now. It's not the same. It like I'm pretty sure, like you beating the core, it's the same thing. No one doesn't. These kids are different now. They're way different. You know, so
Mhm.
like you looking at mental health right now, these younger kids, because I think I seen the statistics, probably the same statistics you saw, where they were saying like I think it was all under the age of 30 or something, 30 or 40, if correct me if I'm wrong, that were like, you know, taking that bad route out. But it goes bigger than that, you know. Like you know, you have to start. I feel like it starts with grade school. You have to encourage these kids to be who they are. Stop holding them apart. It's not like trying to force them. And like I said, I love everybody, so there's nothing against the LGBTQ community. It's not against the right, left, or whatever. Whatever they are, that's what they are. You know, that's what they are. So when you talking to these younger kids now, and I like I said, I got a 22-year-old, 17-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and they all boys. But like I try to instill a little stuff in them, you know, like they know they old man. I'm tough, so I came from the old school, you know, like raising my kids. And like I tell them on this podcast, because I know they watch. I apologize that I raised y'all too tough, but hey, it's still what it is, you know. Because I was coming off like what I was taught, like, hey, tough. You gotta be tough. You gotta be tough. You gotta be tough. But at one day, men break just like anything else, man. You can't put a weight on the branch and not expect it to fall. So I would tell
Yeah.
anybody like dealing with mental health, like that's the most important part. Because if you don't take care of this up here, how you gonna be able to do what you got to do? You know. So
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say something about that too. Um,
mm,
what I've learned just in my experience in dealing with people, especially as a trainer, how many people that I deal with. You
yeah,
know, like I have about 80 some clients right now, 83, 84 clients at this moment that I deal with.
yeah,
Uh, so accountability. So a lot
mm,
of this now, I don't want to like get off on a tangent because I could talk about this for like an hour and a half. But accountability, we have to teach people how to be accountable for their actions.
yeah,
Saying, hey, yeah, you know what, mom, I did do this. I'm sorry, or maybe not even I'm sorry, just the fact to take accountability for it, whatever. That's I think that some of it has to do with that. I also think that social media has a tremendous
yeah,
impact in the youth,
yeah, yeah,
especially in the generation that's below
yeah,
us. Uh, like I was a Generation X. I think the millennials began getting
yeah,
impacted, and then the
yeah,
Gen Z below them started get were more impacted by social
yeah,
media and
yeah,
how things were perceived on social media. Things are said to
yeah,
them, the cyberbullying, so on and
yeah,
so forth. There's a
yeah,
lot that goes into this whenever we're
yeah,
talking about mental health. But I think also going back to the accountability portion, this goes for every like everyone, both genders. It's imperative, literally imperative, that we take accountability for every one of our actions, whether they're right or they're
yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
and then make a change. I've been
yeah,
wrong a million times, and sometimes I've made those mistakes over and over again. And it's imperative that I fix that
yeah,
issue, whatever it might be. I
yeah,
personally am huge on accountability. And I could talk about this in the relationship dynamic as well.
yeah,
So I don't know if we want to go there or not, but in a lot of
yeah,
relationships that I've actually been in,
yeah,
there's some lack of accountability.
yeah,
And it's like it's not that it's my responsibility to teach you accountability, but if I take the mirror and I hold it in front of you and you don't see it and acknowledge what you did, are you holding yourself accountable?
yeah.
um
No,
and I'm one of the it's like it's just one of those
I got
things.
I got you, brother. Hey, Anthony, we're gonna talk more offline. We got the next segment coming up, But I'm gonna give a like anything you got to plug, brother. Anything right now, like anything. I know you're. I know. Hey, you swole. you
Well, hey, I got a. I'm in the middle of writing a book right now, and it's going
okay.
to be a series. It's going to be multiple volumes. It's going to be one primary, and then I'm going to bite off on it in multiple volumes. But I'm working on that with Kiana Scott, and she's helping mentor me on the book. So shout out to Kiana. Go look at her book. Purchase
Hey,
that.
shout
It's a
out to
bad book.
Kiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is it.
Man, thank you so much, brother. You know you're gonna be back, right? Because hey, the motivation you gave me, hey, I'm ready, man.
I like it, my
Thank
brother.
you.
I like it.
All right, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
O three
Oh
infantry.
three. Hey, kill bodies. Yeah. Yo, so hey man, that was a dope segment. I ain't gonna lie. Like I learned a lot. Like I hope the viewing audience learn a lot. This is what this is, you know. And big shout out to Best 365, man. Hey, if you watching this right here, please donate, man. They do good things. Hey, I once had an apartment. They helped furnish my apartment, and they ain't even steal nothing. You know, you doing somebody help you do. Nah, that's another other story. You know, we ain't stealing over here, man. I don't steal. I mean, shit. Hey, it's a piece of chicken. Hey, nah, I'm joking. I'm joking to everybody out there. I don't steal chicken. I ain't, but I mean, churches, Popeyes, whatever. But shout out to First 365, man. Like great organization, please donate. $1, $2, $4, $6, $7, shit. Hell, you got $1? Hell, I don't think you can donate a coin. But if you got $1, I need $1, you know. But it ain't going to me, man. It's going to really a great cause. Shout out to Verse 365 and their organization. Oh, hey, welcome to the show. It's the homie Jlay, man. Let's
Hi,
go, man.
Reed. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, ma'am? How
I'm
are you
doing
doing?
good. I had to switch it up on you. Did you recognize me?
Nah, at first I didn't. I was like, oh God. Hey,
I'm
thank
at home now. You know, when I'm doing my day job, my little corporate job, I got to keep it corporate. But now I'm home.
hey, I get it. I get it. I've never been a suit and tie guy, but hell, you know, hey, anything to get that dollar.
Exactly. You got to put on my
Yeah,
meat suit when I'm at work.
gotcha. So, Jlay, tell the audience about yourself. You know, like, boom, you hitting on that. You know, like, uh,
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. Let's
mm,
see, a little bit about me. I'm originally from Liberia, West Africa. I was born in Liberia,
mm,
came to the United States in 1989. My family's here, but I still have brothers and sisters and a mom in Liberia as well. Um,
gotcha.
I'm a mom as well. I have four.
Hey, shout out to the moms.
I'm a mom. I have four kids. I am an investment officer, so I work in finance and investments.
Gotcha. Can
I'm a
you flip my
professional.
checkbook? Because I don't know if they use checkbooks, but my account is low, so I know it's some money going somewhere or
Sorry, I
something like
cannot
that.
transfer any funds into your account.
Okay, gotcha. If you know somebody with a plug, 10,000, 20,000
I'll
to help.
definitely let you know. Can't give you any stock tips either, but
Oh,
Um,
gotcha.
so that's my day job, during the day. But outside of work, outside of being a mom, I'm a very like creative person. I love to create. I love to be expressive, and so I kind of like dibble and dabble in a lot of things that allow me to be creative, allow me to show my personality and be expressive. Um, One of those things is like I make my own skincare products. I make my own hair care products. I love to juice, juicing fruits and vegetables for health and wellness. I'm really
Can
big
I
into.
remind about the hair care products? Because I'm bald right now. Do you got any like remedies or something, berries or something?
Talk to Theo. Theo will give you the scoop on that.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and then, oh, are you there? Oh, did we lose him? He got so excited about the hair, we might have lost him. Reed, are you there?
Jlay?
Okay, you're
You
there.
hear me?
Okay.
Sorry.
I thought I lost you for a second.
Negative. I'm always here. I'm stuck here.
And so the other thing that I'm really passionate about is I started a children's clothing line, and it's an Afrocentric children's clothing line, and we're very new. It's still in its infancy, um, but I wanted to kind of share the story behind how that came about. So as I told you, I was born in Liberia, West Africa. My whole family, we came from Liberia, came to the United States. We actually came thinking that we were coming on vacation, right?
What?
And that vacation never
But not
ended.
like no slave shit or nothing like that.
No, no, no.
Okay.
No, this was an airplane.
We thought my people thought we was coming on vacation, but we stayed.
No, this was an airplane. There was no
Okay.
ships involved. No, no water travel involved.
Oh,
No
God.
planes, none of that.
That was a long ride.
Of our own free will, yes.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And the funny thing is, actually, that was not our first time coming to the United States.
Okay.
We had come back and forth before, to visit and go back home.
Okay.
But anyway, so we came, and a civil war broke out in our country, and we were not able, it was not safe enough for us to return back home. So we ended up staying. And it was a lot of adjustment, being a kid coming to the United States and trying to, get acclimated to the culture here. Everything was so different and so new. We had accents and people couldn't understand us, and the kids treated us differently. They said things like, call us African booty scratcher, and
I ain't gonna lie. I did used to say that. I had a
Are you
dude
guilty
that
of
went
saying
school
that?
with. Yeah, his name was Ife Kachakucha, and I apologize to Ife right now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you that. I just thought that's what everybody was saying.
Everyone, please apologize to your African friends from when you were growing up, because we went through it. Okay? It was tough. It was, got bullied a lot just for being, African, just from being from Africa. So it was hard for, and Theo and I, my brother and I, we came together. We were together. So we went through all these experiences together. So at least there was some camaraderie there. We had each other to kind of, depend on and rely on as we were going through this. But we really were a target a lot of the times at school, because we were also, not only were we were different, but we were also in predominantly white spaces. We didn't live in neighborhoods or areas where there was a ton of Black people. So one of those early memories that I had is I had come to a new school. I believe I was in fourth grade, and it was a new school. And this is in I don't know if you're familiar with California, but this is Northern California.
Yeah.
And this was, I believe we lived in Citrus Heights or something like that, which is close to Roseville. And it was a new school, and I was so excited to be going to this new school. And on my first day, the teacher told us that the next day was going to be picture day. And she said, oh, tomorrow's going to be picture day. You guys wear your best outfits, dress very nicely, because it's picture day. You want to look nice in your picture. Oh, so when she said that, I was like, yes, gotcha, I was ready. Okay. I already had it in my head, like what outfit I was going to wear and everything. So I went home so excited, and I got one of my outfits, one of my Liberian outfits, my outfits from Africa. It was like a tie-dye outfit. It was like a skirt and a shirt, and it was tie-dye green, or no, brown, tie-dye brown, I believe. Brown and green tie-dye. And it had like the fringes. It had fringes on it.
What?
Now in hindsight,
what year was this?
This was in the 90s. You have to think about this. This is the early 90s.
Okay, all right. You put me in that mind space.
Yeah, so think about early 90s. I mean, and in the early 90s, as you remember, people were starting to get into Afrocentrism, right? People were starting to wear colors. People were starting to get into Afrocentric, learning about Africa. Right? You had people like Queen Latifah talking about people wearing cross colors, people wearing red and green. People were starting to get into African, learning more about their culture, getting more in tune with their African heritage, but there was still a disconnect there because when they would meet African people in real life, they, kind of still had some reservations or would tease us and things like that. But anyways, so I wore this outfit. It's top and bottom, skirt and shirt. It's tie dye, brown and green. It has like fringes, like cut fringes on the
Yeah, I
top.
remember that. That was the style kind of back then a little bit.
It was. But in hindsight, thinking about this now, I was like, I probably looked like Tarzan or something wearing this.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
I
Yeah.
probably looked crazy to them, like wearing this. They're like, what in the world? But I thought it was, I loved my outfit. I thought it was so beautiful and I was so proud to put it on. So I came to school, man, with my outfit on, ready for picture day, man. And oh, side note, what is it called? Code switch. You're gonna hear me code switch.
Okay, hey man, I do it all the time. They think shit. People think they be like, they don't know if he can talk or not. Cause I'm like, hey, shit. And then one time, like my homeboy was like, he was talking to he was with a Caucasian female. Like, no, he was sitting at a restaurant, and the Caucasian female came up to him with a dog, and I was like. And then he said, hey, you're not going to talk to me, not talk to my dog. I was like, hey, we got to get out of here. I was like, hey, master, I turned into a slave. I'm not going to lie. Paul, I turned into one.
Hey.
I get scared. I got scared.
It's a quality, it's a special gift that African Americans have. We can, code switch in whatever the environment, requires, we can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I came to school with my outfit from Liberia on, had my jewelry and everything. So, I just know that I look good. In Liberia, we say like I was zooted. I just knew I looked good.
Yeah.
And I came to school ready for picture day. Man, let me tell you, those kids had a field day with me.
What? Was it like a lot of Caucasian kids, black kids?
Yes, I was the only black student in the class at that time. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So those were the demographics. I was the only African American student in the class at that time. And so, as Liberian people will say, those children didn't play with me. Okay, they did not play with me at all. Yeah. They made fun of me. They called me African booty scratcher. They called me Tarzan. They called me monkey.
What?
Oh yeah.
And this was like early 80s Cali or mid 80s Cali?
90s.
90s California?
Yes.
Man.
Yes. So those children didn't play with me, man. They made fun of me so bad. And I felt so like, it was the first time that I actually, because up until this time, I think it was a privilege. And I know African Americans don't have this privilege, but it was the first time that I had ever encountered someone making fun of me for being black or from being from Africa. I had the privilege of growing up prior to coming to the United States in a culture and in a place where everybody looked like me, right? So there was only a sense of pride that was instilled in me from day one. So this was kind of my first significant memory of encountering racism in the United States. And I know, for African Americans, they don't have that because from day one that you're born, you're made to feel like a second-class citizen in the United States. For lack of a better word, right? But I had never experienced that before, so I came basically with the pride of my ancestors on my back, and these kids just snatched it off.
I could imagine though. I always have this talk with my boy. I call him my brother, but like I always have this talk. I was like, because when everybody came over here from Africa, like different tribes and everything else, I used to always look at it. I'd be like, man, because my oldest son is half African. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think Gambia. Shout out to you guys there, love you, boy. But so it just like with the African culture, I try to figure it out a little bit because you get the taught to be like, I wouldn't even call it hate. It's just more like no one understands it a little bit. Like you have to be into it to understand it. Like you growing up in the '90s and understanding it, that's a hard thing because like if I like I always thought like this, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna fret about this. I had a Congolese gentleman in my class. I think he was from the Congo. And
Okay.
I got hired him. I think I was getting my BA, and I got higher than him in class. I was happy as hell. Cause I'm smart, goddamn it. I'm smart too, goddamn it. Shit, we the same people, you know. But so do
Yeah.
you experience that though? Like, do you experience like I mean, then and now, do you experience like African and blacks don't really get together?
Um, Not as much as before.
Okay,
It has really, I think, over the past decade,
yeah,
with the rise of Afro beats and just, global connectivity,
yeah,
people knowing more about Africa, knowing that, Africa is a beautiful place, that Africa has a lot of hardworking people, beautiful people. I
mm,
think that that has decreased the animosity or the gap, the culture gap between African Americans and Africans has decreased a lot
mm,
within the past decade. But
yeah,
I would say prior to that, um, the a lot of the people that I would experience
yeah,
bullying from were African American. They would look at me and they would be like, we're not like you. We're not part of you. We're different. They wanted to distinguish themselves
yeah.
from me, being
Well,
African.
you know what? You got the Smoking and Joking podcast, and please subscribe to that. So anytime you got some backing and somebody's trying to hit you with something, hey, call the Smoking and Joking podcast. You ain't got to even like definitely subscribe, but I'll be there to subscribe because
Oh,
you
thank
family.
you.
Shout out to the crew tribe. So
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
yep.
So, yeah, so that day I left from school feeling so down. Like I still remember the feeling. It makes me like it still hurts, right? Like when I think about it, how bad I felt when I left school because I was so proud when I came to school, but left school totally shattered that day. Um, and it took a long time for me to wear my African clothes like around, non-Africans again. I don't remember wearing it to school again until I was probably in high school. Um, was the next time that I wore African clothes to school and really got into my African culture, around my peers at school. But so fast forward, I have my own children now, and
Mhm.
I don't want them to go through that same experience. I'm like, I want them to be proud of who they are, what they wear, what food we eat, what music we listen to, and how we talk from the jump. Yes, they're being born in this country where they're being indoctrinated with, media, and the media, you know,
Yeah.
doesn't look
Hmm.
like them. The media outlets don't support people that look like them, but I still want them to be proud of who they are. And so that's really where me creating this clothing line came from. I said, I want African clothes for kids that they can wear to school, to parties, to wherever, and feel proud of, what they're wearing and, their
Got
culture,
you.
their heritage. And the clothing line has evolved that it's not just African children that wear it, it's all children that wear it now.
No.
And
I
they're embracing, the Afrocentric patterns and the colors and the
yeah.
designs, and it's beautiful to see all kids,
Yeah.
wearing this clothing. I think the crowning achievement for me, one second, is when my daughter wore her clothes to school and she got so much feedback from her friends. Like
What?
when she came to school that day, she was so proud too, like me. It was like I was watching myself again, right, as a kid, because she
Hmm.
put on her African clothes that day for picture day, right? Once again, we went
Wow.
back to picture day.
That no, but that's full circle though. I
Yes.
love that.
She put on her African clothes for picture day and she was so proud. She was like, I'm wearing my African clothes today. And she got to school and here I am. I was so nervous. I was more nervous than her because I was like afraid. I was like that fourth grader again. I was like, what if
Yeah.
her friends make fun of her? What if they, say that it's ugly? What if this? What if that? And she was just stepping so proud. And she got to school and all of her friends were like, oh my goodness, you look like a princess. You look like a queen. I mean, the teacher like opened the door for her and said, "Come on, queen, come in." And like they all loved her outfit, loved her
And
clothes, and she felt so happy and so proud. So like
yeah,
that let me know that yes, I'm going in the right direction
yeah,
with this. I
hell
should
yeah,
keep it.
Jlay. That you came full circle with that because a lot of
Yeah,
people don't come full circle with that. That's so something that you was ridiculed with, it became a blessing in the end because like look at what like people embracing that. I have a shirt that says I love Africa. I never been to Africa a day in my damn life. I could even probably I can point out on the continent, but I never been. But I have a shirt that says I love African with I think it's like African texture on it because like, you know, hey, that's the homeland no matter what.
because Africa is still within you, whether you step
Yep.
foot there or not. That is
Yep.
still your point of origin. You
Yep.
know, that's where you
Yep.
come from. You don't see a Chinese person say, "Oh, I've never stepped foot in China, so
Yep.
I'm not from there." No, no,
Yep.
no other people do that. You don't
That's
see
the
a Mexican person say, "Oh, I've never stepped foot in Mexico, so I'm not Mexican." No,
yeah.
that's your point of origin. So yes, you are still African. That's where
Yeah.
you.
And, that,
So yeah,
and what you said, I feel like even with the clothing line, like instilling that to them in a young age, it's kind of like you said too. Like in the '90s, like they was pushing that. Like you had African bow ties, you had the
yeah,
kente cloth and everything, just like that. Like
just like that.
yeah, so you had all of that, and I feel like we lost it in the end. You know, like it's kind of.
Hmm.
But I'm glad that you were bringing that back because kids just fit that type of because you have to be proud of where you from, you know,
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
and you teaching other people about where you from, you know.
Exactly. Other people, like I said, that what surprised me most about creating this clothing line, and I created everything from scratch myself. These are my designs. I hand choose the designs. I hand choose the material, the fabric, everything. Um,
Yeah,
what surprised me most about this is the reception that I got from non-Africans, non-African Americans. They too, are happy to wear these clothes, happy
yeah,
to, support, and they love the colors, they love the designs, they love the quality of it too. And also too, a lot of our clothes, not 100% of them, we're working towards it, but a lot of our clothes were handmade in Liberia. So it also was
what?
employing women, moms, and young men as well in Liberia, giving them jobs by making these clothes. So there's a lot of different angles from this, a lot of ways that this is helping
Yeah.
others.
No, I love that because I'm fat. Like I love, like I said, I had this same like with the kente cloth, everything because I feel like that's a part that's missing. In the '80s, it was pushing. In the '90s, it was pushing, but in the early
Mhm.
2000s, it kind of stopped for what it
Yeah,
was.
we kind
But
of
like
lost it.
to have,
Mhm.
to have having your daughter to have that own and people embrace her, that's the most beautiful thing. Like definitely
Yeah,
beautiful.
I definitely feel like people that it's making a resurgence. People are trying to,
Yeah,
reconnect with their roots
yeah,
again. Like you
yeah,
said, like it kind of in the early 2000s, it kind of waned down a
yeah,
little bit. But
yeah,
I feel like, people are trying to make that connection again.
yeah.
And there are a lot of things for adults, but I noticed that there was a gap in the market there for children. And people would always
You
ask me, like,
sound
"Oh, where do
you,
you
you,
get,
you sound like
it's
my
closer."
producer. Like you see where the nuances is. Like so, I
Exactly.
get it.
Exactly. Yeah,
I
people
get
didn't know where they could get African clothes for
it.
kids. Where can you go online and just order, an
So
African
is
outfit?
it called it GT and Eli? Is it
Yes, so it's called
okay?
GiGi and Eli, and it's called GiGi and Eli after
Oh,
my son and daughter. Um,
okay.
they are kind of the inspiration for the brand, and so I named it after them. They are two of my models for the
Yeah,
brand as well, and and to them, the funny thing is, to them, it's just regular clothes. It's not African clothes. It's not any
yeah,
different for them than wearing, a t-shirt or uh,
yeah.
we want to normalize it. That's the thing. We want it to be normal. We want
I
to normalize the kids wearing their cultural clothing.
Oh, and so what are the sizes? I'm kind of like, what's the sizes for the kids?
So,
Are they infant?
yes, what's really different about this is we have literally infant sizes anywhere from 3 months. So from 3 months all the way up to, I think our largest sizes run to like 12 years old.
Oh,
And there's really nowhere that I see online where you can order like infant, like 3 month old, 6 month old,
no,
9 month old clothing, African clothing or Afrocentric clothing for
yeah.
babies. And so that's really, what's unique about the brand is that we do cater to the younger ones and we want to start with the younger ones. So, like I said, this is normalized for them.
Man, I love that, man. Hey, when y'all get adult size, hey, I'm your man because I need me some.
People
Hey,
ask me
you got
that
a
all the
hat,
time. They're like,
shirt.
can you make adult clothing? I'm like, all right.
I'm a big
Maybe one
dude,
day.
so
Maybe
yeah.
one day we'll get.
Hey, if you get a sweater or jogging suit, hit me up because I'm your man. Hey, you know,
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely. So
yeah.
right now we are just facing a little bit of some of the challenges that I have
Yeah.
faced while running the business is the
Okay.
supply and demand challenges.
Got
Um,
you.
with our production. So we're kind of like having a little bit of a hiatus on production. We're not making any new pieces right now, and we hope that we will start making new pieces. But we still have all our existing pieces that you see, on our Etsy shop. But
Okay.
there was a little bit of a supply and demand with our, making the clothes in Liberia and making and getting them here, fast enough and to my liking. So hopefully, we're hoping that next year we can have another huge order and new pieces out.
No, that I think that'll be dope though, because like just watching, like seeing the clothing and seeing the line, like it's a beautiful line. Because
Thank you.
you have these like I would say like because we all African, let's be honest. But
Mhm.
you have kids that just grew up from down me over here, but you have young parents that do want to get back into it. Like I said, I wear it. I have a shirt that says I love Africa. Like I said, never been to Africa, never seen like been there or whatever, but like I know that's my culture. I'm from Africa, no matter
Yeah.
what. So yeah.
And it just it to me it was like I said when my daughter wore those clothes that day and she came home just so happy like she was on cloud nine.
Man.
She was so happy. Her friends were asking her, "Where did you get this from?" And my daughter, she said, "Oh, you can't get
Mhm.
this in the store." She said, "This is custom." Okay. She said, "This is
Yeah.
you can't get this in Target. This is not something you can." She's like,
Uh,
"This is, from Africa." And she was just
yeah.
so proud. And that just, sealed the deal for me and made it very special.
Man, Jlay, thank you so much. I really appreciate this too,
Thank
man.
you. I
Definitely.
appreciate you
Yeah.
having me, sharing my
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. So is there anything else like so I know we talked kind of like yesterday briefly about like certain stuff and like stuff for like I know we talked about health and wellness. So for men, not just women, what do you
Oh
think
yeah.
men should do for health and wellness?
You said what is my mission?
No, I say what should men do for their health and wellness? What do you
Oh,
think?
I really believe I'm really big on men like taking care of themselves because
Okay.
I know that women do a lot of self-care naturally
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
promote self-care for women, but I think we don't push it hard enough for men. It's really important. If you look
Mhm.
at the statistics of men, especially African American men that are
Yeah.
dealing with hypertension, high blood pressure,
Yeah.
diabetes, all sorts of health issues that are preventable.
Mm.
It's really important that we start encouraging our men, young men, to start taking care of themselves before those, prevention is better than a cure, right? That's what I
Hey,
say.
I agree
Before
wholeheartedly.
those issues come about. So I have a son. I have a teenage son, and I have
Okay.
a younger son. And my kids get tired of me talking to them about taking their vitamins,
Yeah.
getting exercise, watching what they eat, not so much how much you eat, but what you eat. Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I like to eat. Okay.
Yeah, nah, me too, man. I grew up in the South. I ate hog maw, pig feet, squirrel, anything like that. I'm a country boy. And
Well,
people be getting
I
mad that
don't
I
eat
eat
that.
chitlins, but I do. I do. you
But
know.
I mean, I like to, I'm a person that I like to feel full. I like to have meals that,
Mhm.
I'm not a salad girl. Let me just say that. I'm not a salad girl. Okay. Salads are not my thing. Salads are not going to cut it for me. Okay. So I like to feel full. I like to feel like I have eaten.
I got a homeboy. If you put a plate of wings in front of him, he's just horrible. He will eat a whole plate of wings. I ain't never seen that man just. Bro,
True story. I had a guy who saw me eat one time. He liked me. He was interested. You know, we spent some time together. He saw how I ate. He said, nah. He said, I can't mess with you because look at how, he said, you eat like a linebacker. He said, I don't have money. He said, I don't have money for that.
Damn.
True story. He said, I don't have money for that.
What? Man.
But anyways,
what did you eat? I'm curious. What did you eat though? What did you eat?
It wasn't even like that. It was breakfast. We had breakfast together, and I do eat like a linebacker for breakfast. I'm not gonna lie. A lot for breakfast, but I don't eat very much for the rest of the day. Breakfast is my biggest.
Okay, I mean, this meal prep.
I ate like 5 eggs. I had toast. I had, like, he was just like, how are you eating 5 eggs? You're one woman. Like, why are you eating 5 eggs as a woman? For breakfast.
Man,
like, you're not a bodybuilder. Why are you eating 5 eggs?
Hey, if you ever looking for someone to have breakfast with, go out with Jlay because you're gonna eat good.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm a big breakfast eater.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Jlay, man. I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you. I had so much fun. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank you. So, I'm gonna definitely holler at you. We got to set up something where we can eat some eggs together.
Yes, we got to do a brunch together.
Yeah, we definitely gonna do a brunch. But thank you so much, Jlay.
Thank you, Reed, so much. Bye.
Bye. Yo, man. Hey, man, like I told you, man, this is Smoking Joking Podcast, sponsored by Artias, Vets 365, man. Hey, make sure you get your mental health check, everything, man. And for anybody listening, hey, man, subscribe. It doesn't hurt nothing to subscribe. Like I said, if you hate me, you don't like me, as your host, but you got to admit, there's some dope guests on here, man. You know? As That Water Under the Bridge played by, one of the greatest groups. I can, donate to Vest 365. What does it cost you? $1? A damn dollar. I know if somebody got a dollar in their checking account. You know? I want to thank Anthony. I want to thank Jlay. I'm definitely going to give a shout out to my co-host. Fiend. Let's go. Sunday, we hitting this shit and we hitting the ground running because we got some crazy ass topics to talk about. Shout out to my girl Feeny, man. She probably at work, man. Hey, do your hair. Hey, I need that lace front. God damn it, shit. Hey, just with the waves or something. But yo, shout out to my co-host. Shit. Once we get on the Thursday show, it's gonna be even crazier, man. So look out for that Sunday interview, man. It's Smoking and Joking. And please donate to Vet 365. Please. Motherfuckers need money out here, man. Everybody fucked up. Goddamn shit, man. The goddamn everything fucked up. So if you can donate, just donate a goddamn dollar. I need $1. Anybody can give me $1. Goddamn, it's Vet 365, man. What the fuck?